Thank you very much for joining us today, and welcome to the That's the Go Playbook Show, where every month we talk about ways you can level up your sales game with AI while keeping it human. And I'm your host, Augusto, country manager and content advisor here at Daxigo. And well, I'm pleased and honored to introduce our guest today, Natalie Locke, training and marketing manager at TaskReach. Welcome to the show, Natalie. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. Again, thank you so much for joining us. And I have a couple of questions here, and I would love for you to deep a little bit deeper on them. And the first one is, what metrics can AI-powered sales coaching tools track to provide meaningful insights?
So that's a tough one. So I would say something that AI can do to help track those insights is if you have AI, similar to what Dexco does, if you have AI sit on phone calls with you, sit on meetings with you, it can help managers better coach their team. Managers aren't able to be in a million places at once. And so you can kind of use AI as your assistant to sit with those team members. They can pick up on their pitch. They can pick up on, okay, do I need to train them more in what they're selling? Or do I need to train them more on how they're selling? All those type of things AI can help with. And it can give you that kind of feedback. So sales is a little bit tricky to measure. That's always been the hard point that I think a lot of companies fall into. But I think that with AI, using it almost more as a coach would be really great. And then seeing if the stuff that you're implementing with your sales team is driving the numbers too. Because you want to see if what you're doing from a coaching standpoint is giving them more clients, is getting them in front of clients quicker, helping them close deals quicker. So all that can go into play with AI.
That's awesome. And that makes me think, how can sales managers use AI-driven performance analysis to identify those areas of improvement inside their teams?
So something that AI does is if they're sitting on those meetings, they can tell you, like, give you almost a grade of what you're working on and what you need to continue working on. And so it will give them that feedback. In addition to that, you could also take AI to another level and have it almost create a curriculum for you. So something that we also use at TaskBridge is another AI tool called Easy Generator. And so we're able to create courses for it. Our team members are able to go through those courses. We get real-time feedback on how they're doing, where we need to do a little bit more coaching on. And so AI is going to be able to pinpoint that for you.
That's awesome. It's like a university of your own product, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. I've used Easy Generate in the past, and it's a very nice experience. And how do you see AI continuing to evolve sales enablement technologies in the near future?
I think that with sales enablement, you have to use AI as an assistant almost, and I think that that's really where we need to go. So there's a lot of fear about AI. There's a lot of different emotions that come up when you think of AI, and so I think reshaping how we're thinking about it and how we're even coaching our team members on how to use it is the best example for that. And so I think with that, I would say in the future, I think you're never going to lose the human aspect of it. You're always going to need your salespeople to get in front of customers. You're always going to need that human to human interaction. But I think I would love to see every single salesperson almost have their own bot, like training bot with them that can be geared towards their thing, their specific things that they need to work on. It can be geared towards their emotions, geared towards their strengths, their weaknesses, all of that. And so if that bot works with them from day one, as they continue to grow throughout their journey as a sales team member, it's just going to get better at assisting them in doing more and selling more.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like a personal assistant that you're on cyber conscious that is telling you you need to be better at this, you can improve that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And talking about future, what does next gen really mean in the context of sales enablement tools?
So I think that with next gen, I just see it continuing to grow. Like it's not going away. And something that I think people always say, and I've heard a lot in the past, is like when the computer first came out, everyone was super fearful of it. And I remember growing up, like they always said that you're not going to have your calculator everywhere you go, but like we do now on our phones. And so I think that it's just going to be another tool in our toolkit that we can utilize, and it's going to become more a part of our day to day. But again, like I think something that kind of everything that's happened in the past has taught us is that like we're never going to lose that human to human interaction. And so I think that's important and it's going to stay important. But I think that going forward, it's going to continue to grow as another tool.
Yes, 100%. It's incredible to see that how we fear change, but when we start to see the improvement and well, how many time we got back because we don't have to do all that research in 10 different books, one quick search and then we have all the information right there. It's so life changing. And I think that is impossible to fight it. You need to adapt and get better at it.
Mhm.
And that brings me to a question here. And how are AI and automation changing the way sellers engage with prospects?
Yeah. So when we're engaging with prospects, there's a lot of different tools out there that can help just give you a one up on where before, like it was called cold call. Like you knew nothing about it. And then social media was integrated. So now it's like you do all your LinkedIn stalking, Facebook, Instagram stalking, whatever you can do to find out more about that client before you go in there. And I think that AI is going to be able to help you with that as well. So they're going to be able to look at their profiles. They're going to be able to make some educated guesses on maybe some topics you could talk to them about, like an icebreaker. Like, let's say they used to play basketball at college, like maybe starting off with that versus just going in and saying, hey, please buy my thing. And so I think that sellers are going to be able to utilize AI to kind of pinpoint more what their customer needs and who their customer truly is. And I think that just kind of gives them a one up. Something that we do at our company is called Culture Index. And so all of our new team members that come in, they take this culture index and it tells you about their strengths, their weaknesses. Are they more organized? Are they more go with the flow? Stuff like that. Are they going to be risk takers? Are they not going to be risk takers? And so I think that I almost think of it as a culture index for the person that you're selling to. Like, how are they going to when you bring them this new product, and what are some barriers that you could kind of practice with and get through before you're even in that conversation with them.
Wow, that is so smart. I think that it's fantastic to you really need to know, who's in your team and what strategies you should apply to get the best out of them because we are all different and even though with AI we are human after all. And now it's a question about the finance team that I think the CFOs would love to hear. And how should organizations think about return on investment when evaluating enablement platforms?
Yeah, so I think enablement platforms take time. So that's the big thing. And I think that's the hardest thing too with CFOs is that they want to see the return on the investment really quickly. But I think educating them on the fact of like you're retraining, like AI is supposed to be used as a tool, and so it's not going to be a quick fix overnight. It's going to be something that the team has to get used to. The team needs to maybe train the bot a little bit more on what they need and train the tool a little bit more, and that all takes time. So I would say at least give it like a quarter or two, but make your goals. So, what are you wanting the bot to do? Are you wanting it to help your team increase sales? Are you wanting it to help increase your presence in a certain territory? Are you wanting it to find you new clients? Like, what do you want the bot to help your team do? And then by the end of that quarter, see if that was successful. So it's almost looking at the sales enablement as a tool of what it is and being like, did it help our team or did it hinder our team? And then I think that's how they can calculate the ROI for it.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's really hard to see a quick return on investment when you're talking about teaching people. And well, the tool before teaching it, you need to feed it. You need to put information on it. So you also have to be able to extract all the information you have from your company and your ICP and everything else that will teach your reps in the future. And it makes me think, how can Dextago actually help with sales rep onboarding and retention?
Yeah, so Dextago, we were able to utilize it, and it's such a great tool for training. So I actually come from a special education background, so I'm very in tune with education, and love all these new training tools that are coming out. And Dextago does what we are talking about. It's able to coach you on different areas that you need to improve on when you're talking to a customer. It gives you practice also before going into that conversation with the customer. So I think that's one thing for new team members that is really important is that I know if I would just cold call a customer and know nothing about sales or no previous coaching, I would be so scared. I would stumble over my words, like it would fail. And a lot of the times, I think that's what happens. Like there's a sink or swim mentality. And so Dex2Go is able to give salespeople actually a training platform for them to play around with things and for them to try different things, for them to figure out really what is your voice as a seller. And I think that Dex2Go is a great place for them to learn that.
That's very nice. And changing that single stream mentality, I think it's fundamental. We need to apply what is called growth mentality every single day, bigger to learn, bigger to be better. And with a tool like Dexigo, you can do that. And that also brings me to another question. Will the future of sales enablement be more about tech or human behavior?
I think that sales enablement will be more about human behavior, but I think that tech will be used as a tool to help the human behavior. I think at the end of the day, like technology can't like replace a person. Technology can't replace our conversation right now. Like people still want to have those conversations. And if we didn't, then we would just be staying at home 24/7. But we still like to go out with friends. We still like to see people. We still like to go to parties. We like to try new restaurants with new faces, like all that type of stuff. Like, I don't think that the human interaction will ever be replaced by technology. But I think that we can figure out how to use technology to better sell, to better ourselves, even if we're in accounting. Like, think of your day to day in accounting. Is there something that AI can do that maybe you go into work every day and you're like, I hate doing this one thing and I have to do it 500 times. And maybe AI can help you with that. And so I don't think it's ever going to take the place, but I do think that we can use AI to kind of help us in our day to day interactions.
Yeah, that is fantastic. At the end of the day, we are a social being. We love being with people, even if it's just having a coffee and see people walking by.
Yeah.
We love to see that we are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in this sales world, it's something that, a dog eat dog world, but well, it don't have to be like that.
Yeah.
You can take the step further of learning and getting better. And well, Dextigo and AI is here to help you do that. And when you're trying to implement these tools and trying to put a new enablement platform on a team, what should companies avoid when rolling out a new sales enablement platform?
I think quickly judging it. I think that as we said before, like it's going to take time. It's going to take time for your team to get used to. Also say give your team members time to adjust. So depending on, I'm about to do a conference in a little bit and I'm going to talk to them about just say like, what are your feelings towards CRM? Because even that, and so like you could do that with AI, like your team members are going to have so many different feelings about these new tools that you're going to incorporate. They're not going to have time to try it. It's a hindrance to them. They're not going to understand really what it's actually going to do for them in a positive way at the end. And so I think giving your team time and giving them manageable goals. So if it's a big tool that you are integrating into your team, maybe putting those manageable goals in those bite-sized pieces. So week 1, let's all just log in and like navigate around the platform, see what's going on. Maybe week 2, we try to create a new case. Maybe week 3, we record ourselves and get that feedback and see how it goes. I think having it be a part of your daily conversation. So our team has weekly meetings where we talk about projects that we're working on. I always give the team time to talk about different things they've learned as well because I believe that we're always learning something new. And so I think the new sales enablement tool that you implement being a part of that weekly conversation of, hey, what did you learn new from it? What did it do well for you? And what was kind of annoying about it? And just allowing that open feedback, I think they'll be able to say like, oh, this person really helped them do that, but I found that annoying, but it helps them. So maybe it works for them in that way, but it works for me in this way. And so I think that's a way that you can kind of slowly integrate this into your team. But I think that the mistake that you can make is just quickly judging it, like trying it for a week and being like, nope, this isn't going to work because you're not going to get a lot of time to actually try something in a week. So that's why I think trying it for a quarter would be good.
Well, that is so smart, make a little sneaker fun size.
Mm.
Short and sweet. Yeah, just remember in high school we never study a whole history book in one class.
Mm-hmm.
It's separated by chapters and by moments, so everybody can learn in small steps, bit by bit. And we're almost at our last questions. And how can the small or mid-sized sales teams leverage these tools without overcomplicating their workflow?
Yeah, so I think with mid-size or smaller teams, having your team maybe make a list. This is something that I did, my boss had me do when I first started off was I made a list of all the things that I do. And then I put into categories what I like and what I don't like. And then I put into categories what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And sometimes those categories didn't align. But I think that having your team start doing that and then being like, okay, out of these things that either you're not good at or you don't like to do, can we implement some type of tool to ease that situation? Can we have it be a companion to you? Can we have it help you at all in this? Could it be automated? Can some of these things be automated, some of these tasks? And so I think having that conversation with your team would be the best bet.
That is so nice. And I think it really sums up what we've been talking here. You need to take it step by step when implementing any tool, mainly enablement tools, because we are talking about the human experience and how we learn. Everybody's different. So remember to teach your AI platform before taking things out of it. And well, my last question for you is almost a desert island situation. If you had to choose three AI tools for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
Oh, cat, ChatGPT. That's number one. But then I think another one that we've used Dexigo has been really helpful, and I think that that would continue being helpful, and I see it continuing to grow. And then another one that we've used is we've integrated our bots specifically for marketing. So I've created specific bots just for marketing. And so I think that's another one that I would use.
Wow, that's very nice. And I hope it's bringing a lot of leads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining us today at the Daxico Playbook Show. I hope to see you next month and have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Natalie.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.